What worries you more, the Cubs offense versus elite pitching or the Cubs rotation?
Cubs rotation. I think that in playoff time too, like guys, you'll go through slumps and then you'll get hot. Offense, that's a part of offense. Even good offenses still slump. The pitching staff, they need more win because of pitchers.
I think this offense can also, although you're right, they have struggled against better pitching. They can manufacture runs because they run the bases so well.
Yes.
So if your pitching is good, you may be able to win some close games. But look, I think it's an issue, Tyler, for sure. I think it's something that, there have been so many great moments for the Cubs so far this season that you just kind of brush other things away. They've struggled against elite pitching, and as I said to you guys today, like when they face the better teams, they have struggled to win the series.
This is a big series against the Cardinals that don't look now, but it's tightening up in the Central. Like a lot of people thought they would run away with this thing. I heard Jesse change course today. Jesse, for a while, thought that they were going to run away with this by the trade deadline.
I want to be on the record as saying I think that they will win by a comfortable margin as well.
It's 3.5 right now, and earlier in the week it was 6.5. In a matter of a week, the day that I was at the game and the Cubs won, they extended their lead to 6.5 over the Brewers. That was, what day was that? Wednesday of last week?
Tuesday
of last week. It was 6.5. It's 3.5 now. They lost 3 games, and now they're playing the Cardinals in St. Louis. So, like,
that Cardinal team doesn't
they don't scare me, but do the Cubs scare anybody?
The lesser teams, I think they do. Yeah, I think they ask Colorado, ask the Reds, ask the Pittsburgh Pirates, ask the Marlins.
Those teams are scared. The Reds aren't. The Reds are still okay. What's your record?
They're still above 500. Like I said to you guys, since May 2nd, the only teams the Cubs have won a series against are the Brewers. They took 2 or 3 from the Brewers, May 2nd through the 4th. They beat the Reds in 2 different series, 2 out of 3. That's it. They've lost 2 out of 3 to the Giants, Mets, Tigers, Phillies, and Mariners. That's all since May 2nd. So what does it all mean? I don't know. You just put it all into your baseball calculator and you come up with thoughts.
When a team loses in the postseason, it's a surprise. Like when the Dodgers would lose when they're good, or when the Yankees would lose when they're good, or the Astros would lose when they're good. Nothing would surprise me about this Cubs team. If they got swept in a first-round series, it wouldn't shock me. Or if they advanced to the NLCS, or even if they got hot and made a World Series, that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
But
because when they get hot, they get hot.
So like whether or not like I'm judging weekly, I still think those are all possible.
Yeah, I think the only thing.
What is the one sure thing that you think you can say right now about the Cubs? I mean, kind of in a grand way. Like, yeah, they're great base runners. They play good defense.
In a positive manner?
Like, that keeps you positive that this really could be a special
I still don't think they have a surefire closer. They don't have a great starting rotation when it comes to playoff rotation. I think it's still the offense.
Matt Shaw may have to go down again.
I think individually, I look at Kyle Tucker. I think that is the surest thing that I'm willing to bet on with this team.
And he started to hit for power this weekend. He hit a couple of home runs, which was nice to see.
Well, I think, you've got a guy that makes a difference in 95% of the games he plays in, too, in PCA, regardless of how he does it. Running bases, defensive plays, whatever it is, he finds a way to contribute.
There's just not as much of a track record there where I'm not willing to say that's the surest thing in the arsenal.
They're base running right now. They're fielding. I think they're a really good fielding team.
Colin Ray, I gave you his numbers. So your starting pitching is starting to kind of, recede a touch. Bullpen finally had a day or a series where they were more bad than good. But, I mean, these are things you expect over the course of a long season.
How much stock do you put into that with the bullpen this weekend, given the weather conditions?
I think it's a blip until it's not. I'm not going to panic over the bullpen now. But there are things, this isn't set no matter how good things were going. I still don't know if, like I just said 2 minutes ago, I still don't know if the Cubs have a true closer. Do you?
No, I don't.
Like, I like what I see from Palencia.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure. And I don't love the talk about getting Chapman.
I don't know if that's going to be a thing anymore, though, because, the Red Sox they lost their last 2, but they were playing better baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't think I'm, like, I'm not saying don't add, but I'm not saying I'm, like, overly concerned by the bullpen right now. I just think this was a wonky series, weather conditions. It's not a big deal.
This is going to be a good one in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you feel about the Tigers series? Like, I mean, this is the point, is how'd you feel about the Phillies series? You lost
those weren't, like, bullpen collapses.
No, I know, but they found ways against better competition, ways to lose.
It definitely worries me a little bit when this is a perpetual theme. I will say this. I'd be interested to see what it looks like when they see some of these elite arms a second time.
That's fair.
And by the way, never question Jesse's sources, because Craig Counsell did just confirm that Shoto will pitch Thursday. There was some talk about Wednesday, but as Jesse, you said that earlier too, Tyler. I heard it when he said it. Thursday's the day for Shoto.
He's with the team in St. Louis, too.
I never not trust Jesse's sources.
Always.
I just think that, calling a White Sox win over the Blue Jays as a signature win was a touch over the top. That's all.
Okay. Well, we'll check in with Meller to see if he agrees or disagrees.
All right. This was in Bob Nightingale's piece today, and I thought this was interesting. The Red Sox said they had conversations with the Mariners, Cubs, Padres, Blue Jays, and Atlanta about Devers before dealing him to San Francisco. Obviously, they didn't end up with Devers, but is this at all an indication to you guys that you think the Cubs might be a little bit more willing to spend on someone like Tucker, knowing that Devers still had $250 million that Ricketts would have had to pick up moving forward?
I don't know. Like, now you're telling me that them calling and checking in on the Devers situation, and if the price was right, they maybe would still be interested at him. That means they would be interested in getting Tucker too, so they would have all this salary?
No. I'm saying this is an indication they're willing to open up the checkbooks a little bit. So even though they struck out on Devers, maybe you feel a little more confident that, okay, if they were willing to pick up $250 million in remaining salary on a guy, maybe they're willing to meet whatever the price gets to with Tucker this offseason.
One way I looked at it too was maybe they know they're not going to sign Tucker, and this is their backup plan. That we can't spend $500 million on a player, but we're willing to pay for Devers, who's what 200-some million remaining?
250.
Like, that's half. So, yeah, we're willing to spend, but not, I don't know. So I don't know how to read it. It could just be a check-in as well.
How about Craig Breslow basically worked for the Cubs for, 4 or 5 years?
Several years, yeah.
So, Tyler, is this more of just a, hey, when he includes the Cubs as talking, is this kind of like just two guys who worked together for years having a baseball conversation? Because, like, what does Jed say back to Breslow? Hey, look, you know what? He's a hell of a player, but I tried to sign the guy
Here's
that
what
you
I would
signed.
say to that, though. Was Scott Harris with the team when Craig Breslow was there, too? Because the Tigers are not mentioned, and the Tigers are a team that could use a third baseman.
No, that's fine. And maybe. I'm throwing it out there because I would say if the management wouldn't let you sign the little third baseman that they signed, why are they going to let you give $250 to this guy and give up assets for him? You know what I mean?
I think the Bregman conversation versus Devers is very different, though. Like, Bregman is a short-term solution, may have only ended up with your team for a year, whereas Rafael Devers, you're bringing in a long-term superstar.
Do you think that Bregman was only going to be with the team for a year?
Well, he had opt-outs. He could opt out at any given moment.
Is that how the Cubs
I think that's how every Bregman deal
I don't
was
know. I
structured.
just don't know, especially with Tucker's deal on the horizon. I find it hard to believe that they would be in on giving up assets for someone who had $250 million left on his contract.
Tyler, I don't know if I could forecast anything based on how the Cubs are going to spend. I need to see it happen before I'm convinced that they're willing to take on all this money after Dansby Swanson's been their highest paid player.
Yeah. Listen,
at 180.
They should consider everything. That's what they should be doing.
I wonder if it says anything, too, about, like, what the how they feel about the starting lineup right now.
Or how they feel about Shaw?
I need Shaw to start hitting because I love him as a player. He can run. He's a great fielder. I still think he's going to eventually hit.
He's batting 180 in the month of June. And
I know.
He may find himself back down at AAA.
He's having one of those rookie years. It didn't, as we saw, it didn't come fast for PCA.
Doesn't mean he's not going to find it. It just means it's not there right now.
So we'll see if they let him play through. It's a good conversation to have. Coming up next, the good, the bad, the dirty. Boy, oh boy, the ump show is back in high force over the weekend. I am going to rip the shreds out of some of these umpires. That's coming up next.